everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den, and this week I'm going to show you how I made these. Now I have seen these done. They were done by a lady named Sam Hammond about 5 years ago, but for me they were too long because she made them the full length of an A4 sheet of paper. I've made them the width of the paper rather than the length of the paper. And my sizing is completely different because her size here, this size box, was a 3/4 of an inch size box. Well, here in Australia, our little solid Easter eggs, which I've got some here, are fatter. So they wouldn't fit in the box. So I decided that I would do it again, making it smaller so that it's my sizing. And I've finished it off. I've finished this end off with a staple, which you can do, or you can actually glue that together if you want, or you can put a ribbon on both ends. I'm going to do one exactly the same as this one, and this will actually hold 7 of these. So let's get 7 eggs out. There we go. 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. And I haven't even eaten one yet. This one is full as well. It hasn't been finished off because this was actually my first one, to see how it went together after I changed the sizing. So that's going to hold those 7 Cadbury solid eggs. So let's pop them just over here. Stay. And we're going to make another one that looks identical to this. So I'm going to show you what you need. Alright, so, and it's not a real lot, believe it or not. Now I've already stamped my bunny, and I've coloured him in because you've seen me do that before. If you haven't, you can check out my other videos and you will see how I coloured him in and that. So so this is all you're going to need, these few bits here. So you're going to need a piece of card that is 8 1/4. Now if you've got American sizes where this is 8 1/2, you can just make it the 8 1/2 and just move the last 2 measurements up that 1/4 of an inch, or you can just cut that bit off. So this is 8 1/4 by 4 1/2, and it has 4 pieces of designer series paper that measure, I can't see my measurements here, I've got a funny place here. They measure 5 1/2 by 3/4 of an inch. Then you need a piece of, for my little saying here, which measures, let me see, I've got this piece at 3 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch, which is going to be way too big on there. So once we cut that down, but it's good to have a little bit extra to work with. And then a piece of ribbon that is about 7 inches long, or if you're going to put ribbon on both ends, 2 pieces of ribbon that are 7 1/2 inches long. So let's start by getting my punch here. I'm going to pop that up there and that over there, and just punch out my bunny. I think this rabbit is just so cute. I have never bought a set from Stampin' Up where I've used it so much in such a short period of time. I just think it's just so stinking cute, and there's no other words for it. So we're going to do that. We're going to be using an old punch, and this is optional. This is the classic label punch, because I put a window in here so that whoever receives this knows that it's full of Easter eggs. That's optional. If you wanted to cut it out with a craft knife, you could do that. It would be approximately 2 inches long by 1/4 of an inch wide. So it's completely up to you. And I'm also using, which I'll do one end now so that I know where I'm cutting to, this punch, which is called Happy Labels, which is in the mini catalogue, and I'm pretty sure that this will probably get pulled over into the new main catalogue. So I've done one end there, so I can stamp that from that end and then cut the other end off. Okay, so we'll pop them over there, and we will start with our card. Pop that there. Bring in my scoreboard. Okay, I have to sit back a tiny bit here today. And we're going to score this on the long side first. So we're going to score this on the long side at, well, I've got the measurements around the wrong way, haven't I? On the long side, at a 1/2 inch, making sure we're using the correct end of our thing. 1/2 inch, 1 1/4 inches, 7 inches, and 7 3/4 inches. Now if you've got your 8 1/2 inch paper, because you're living in America, just do the 1/4 inch and 1 1/4. I mean 1/2 inch and 1 1/4. Then turn it around and do your 1/2 and 1 1/4. That way you'll have your distance here the correct way. Now we're going to turn it so that we've got the short side across the top, and we're going to score this at 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and 4 inches. And that's all the scoring we're going to do. There's no cutting of these pieces at all. So all we're going to do next is we're going to fold and burnish all of these score lines nice and tightly down, because this is Mango Melody, and the dye must be very, very intense, because some cards the dye must be less intense than others, because it will not feel quite as heavy, but they're all the same weight, but it's just that the dye obviously makes it feel that way. So we're going to turn the bottom in on the second score line. This is the back of the card, so we're turning that inwards, and we're going to turn the other one outwards, and we're going to do that on both ends. So we've got the inside of our card here after we've scored. Second score line, I'm going to fold that in, the first one, I'm going to fold it back. So we have all our lines this way are mountain folds, and then we have valley, mountain, valley, valley, mountain. So I'm going to pop my pieces of Designer Series paper on now, because I find it easier while it's laying flat. So we're going to pop them on next. This is a really quick and easy project, and great for school bazaars or fetes or whatever we call them, depending on the part of the world you live in. You could do these with other sweets in them for birthday parties. All sorts of different things. Christmas, Easter, birthdays. You could even put a present in there, you know, like a nice gold bracelet for a loved one, or a necklace, or something along those lines, if you really wanted to. We have our 4 pieces on. I'm going to squish them down nice and tightly, and now I'm going to use my classic label punch, and for that one I'm actually turning it around so that my 1/2 inch piece, which is my bit that's going to be that piece to fold inside, is at the top, and then I'm going to punch in the middle roughly of this second one here. So not the first one, the second one. So I'm going to eyeball it, so we're going to pop that in there, and we're going to look at it, and we're going to say, yeah, that looks about even on that side to that side, maybe a tiny bit more that way, and it looks like it's even between the DSP this way. Happy with that? Give it a punch out. It's not too bad. Some days my eyes are not really the best. Okay, so that we've done that piece, so now we're going to actually glue this piece down. So we're going to pop that down there. I'm going to pop a bit of glue right along this edge. Now if you wanted to cut that off on an angle you can, but it really isn't that necessary. And then we're going to close that one over on top of it and give it a good squish down, making sure that it is squished down really, really tightly. Okay. just going to pop my pin in my glue because I don't think I need it anymore. Alright, so then we can just pop it open and we have our hole on the top. With the end that we're going to either staple or close with a bit of glue, we just want to pinch it in, so that means that you will see the fold line on one side. So we're going to pinch that in at the top like so, and then push this down so they come together like that. Says me. Alright, so it looks a bit like a milk carton shape on this edge here. So you can either put glue in there, or like me, I'm going to, and I don't have a hand stapler, so I'm going to staple this with my stapler so it will fit in there. Just making sure that you get it in there nicely if you're going to staple. And that didn't staple at all. We'll pop that one staple out and we will do it again. There we go, we've got it through. Alright, so we've got that through there like so. And then we're going to do exactly the same on the other end. We're going to fold that in and make the milk carton shape. And I'm going to use my hole punch here, which is I can't see the sizes on this. I'm really doing good, aren't I? My 3/16 of an inch. There it is. Couldn't see it. Oh, not terrible. And I'm going to push that in as far as I can and just pinch and pop a hole through there. Once I've done that, I can now, and making sure that I've pinched that the same way as this one here. See, I've put that staple in upside down. I'm going to pull that staple out and I'm going to pop it in the right way up, because that will bug me. Nothing will be right with that one. So let's pop that staple out, turn that over and staple that the correct way around. There we go. Pop that. There we go. There, we got it. Who wants a staple with the thing sticking up? Alright, so now we're going to pop our 7 Easter eggs in here. So these are going to fit in here beautifully. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once we've done that, we can bring in our ribbon and we're going to fold it in half. Fold it in half, which means you put the two ends together, not pull it together and then pull it apart. And we're going to pop the through from the back to the front. That way you get the nice look on the front of your piece. You get that look there. If you want that look, which I don't like that look, I like this look, I put it that way up. Okay, then I can pull them nice and tight and just trim them off to what size I want. Ooh, can you hear that? I can hear an ambulance going down the road. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of stamping, which is the words that say, same as this one, and I'm going to do it in this colour, which is Mango Melody, that says, an Easter treat for you. So let's pop that on this end. So we're going to pop this on this end here, an Easter treat for you. Now I didn't bring over my pens to do my little bit of colouring in, so I will do that later. So I'm just going to stamp my little butterfly out of the same set, which I forgot to show you, the Easter Bunny set bundle, which is still available until the end of April. So that's with plenty of time. Now if you wish to purchase this and you live in Australia, you're welcome to give me a call or order from me. When you place your order and it asks for your demonstrator name, you just put in my name there. So this set is absolutely gorgeous. As I say, it comes on its own or as a bundle, and you get 10% off if you buy it as a bundle. Okay, so we've got this piece here done. Now this is a little bit long, so I'm going to cut that in half there, and I'm going to bring in my Happy Labels punch, which is also in the same catalogue, and I'm going to I always like to just check that that is sitting there nice and flat. If it doesn't sit there flat, you've just wasted a bit of card. I know that it's only a tiny little bit in this case, but it's still enough to be annoying. Okay, so I'll colour that in, and you'll see that in the photographs. But I'm going to pop that on there with some dimensionals, which I'm trying to find here. There they are. There we go. So I'm just going to put 2 on the back of the rabbit and 2 on the back of my little saying. And I don't want them too far apart because don't forget it's only very narrow here. So I'm putting this in here on an angle, making sure that my bunny bits, there's no part of the dimensional hanging off the end. And then this one can go just here like so. And do the same again, just check that the dimensional is not hanging off the end. And we'll then pop one of these little dots on here, which are the glossy dots. And I will use one of these yellow ones again, which I think just looks just beautiful. Okay, so that's our our project for today. It's called an Easter egg tube, Australian size Easter eggs. So if you live in the UK, you can look up the size. You could change the size to 3/4 of an inch here, which means that you would need a piece that was 3.5 inches instead of 4.5 inches, because you've got 1/4 of an inch on each side. And the length would be the same. It would be a 3/4, and you just change the measurements. Or you do it the same size. You'd probably fit more eggs in because they're a little bit smaller. So that's our project for today. If you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I do love to hear from you all. And if you would like to purchase this set, I can't say this paper. This is actually was a celebration paper and it's now retired. But I do love the bunny set, which is what I was actually showing you. This orange paper is actually called Mango Melody, which is always available at unless that goes away in the colour change this year, and the Mango Melody ink here, and Memento ink. So the classic label punch to do this has retired. The bunny punch, which is exactly what it's called, that can buy that on its own, or you can buy it as a bundle along with, you can buy the Happy Label punch, which is lovely. I love this look. It looks like a stamp, a postage stamp look on the edge there. So that's our project for today. Oops. I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, I will see you again next week. Bye for now.